Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. Great to see you all again, and let me tell you, it feels good to be back in front of the camera after taking a wee day off yesterday. A much needed breather, I won't lie, especially after a hectic week full of transfer speculation, rumors flying left, right and center, but you know how it goes. The football world doesn't slow down for anyone, and I can guarantee this week's going to be just as mental. And while I'm getting ready to jet off to sunny Santa Ponsa, don't worry, I'll still be around in some capacity to keep you all updated on what's happening with Celtic. You know me, I can't fully switch off even on holiday. There's too much going on, and I'd hate for you to miss out on the latest developments. So let's dive straight into it because we've got loads to unpack, especially after everything that went down last night. And just before we get stuck in, if you haven't already, you know the drill. Hit that like button. Smash subscribe. We're on the road to 60,000 subscribers now, and it would mean the world if you helped us get there. Right, enough of that. Let's get into the football chat. As I mentioned earlier, I'm off on my wee holiday tomorrow, but rest assured I'll do my best to keep you all posted when I get the chance. If there's a bit of a delay in updates, just know I'm likely getting roasted under the Spanish sun, the way nature intended. Now, let's talk about Celtic, because we've had a busy spell with transfer links, and one name that keeps popping up, and rightly so, is Benjamin Nygren. Spoke about him a fair bit over the past week, didn't we? After Celtic officially approached the players' camp to bring him in during this summer window, it seems like things have stepped up a gear. The last update we had was that Celtic hadn't yet opened discussions with his current club regarding a transfer fee, but that's changed now. Big news coming through last night confirming that talks between Celtic and FC Nygren are well underway and moving in a positive direction. By the sounds of it, it's all starting to fall into place, and we could see Nygren pulling on the famous green and white hoops very soon. According to reliable reports, Celtic are edging closer to agreeing on a fee with Nygren for the 23-year-old, whose current contract runs out in just 6 months. Initial conversations between the two clubs are said to have gone smoothly, with no major hurdles expected when it comes to settling on the final number. Celtic might end up paying just under £2 million for him, which, let's be honest, sounds like an absolute bargain for a player of his potential. Now, just to be clear, nothing has been officially signed or sealed just yet, but by all accounts, it's only a matter of time before we're welcoming him as one of the first signings of the summer, joining Callum O'Reilly with the transfer window now officially open. It's great to see Celtic moving quickly to secure reinforcements. Getting your business done early can make such a massive difference heading into preseason, and hopefully into the Champions League qualifiers. Honestly, this looks like one of those deals that's all but done. If everything goes to plan, we might even see him pictured in a Celtic shirt by the end of the week. Imagine that for a feel-good Friday post, of course. We'll need to get him over for a medical at Ross Hall, get all the formalities sorted. But if it doesn't happen this week, I'd expect it very early next week. Monday or Tuesday at the latest. Fingers crossed. And look, I've spoken enough about Nygren over the last few videos. If you want to know more about the kind of player he is, his stats, his playing style, all of that's in the archive from last week. But let me just say again, to potentially secure him for under £2 million, it's a cracking bit of business. Celtic's recruitment team seem to have done their homework well on this one, identifying a situation where they can pick up a player with a lot of upside at a very reasonable price. But the work doesn't stop there, does it? Celtic have a busy summer ahead, and Nygren certainly won't be the only new face coming through the door over the next few weeks. Transfer links are coming thick and fast now, and last night we had a bit of a curveball with reports emerging about a potential move for a Japanese defender by the name of Hayato Inamura. Now this one really caught everyone off guard. According to a very credible source, Celtic are exploring a deal for the 23-year-old, who currently plies his trade with Albirex Niigata over in Japan. Primarily a left-sided center back, but he's also capable of slotting in at left back if needed. It's a name none of us had heard linked with Celtic before, so naturally there's been a bit of head-scratching amongst the fanbase. Let's be honest, when you first hear it, it doesn't exactly scream the caliber of player that's going to walk straight into the starting 11 and transform our backline. No disrespect intended towards the lad, but we've got to be realistic here. We're talking about a 5'11" center half who's playing for a team currently sitting in the relegation zone of the Japanese top division, and to add a Bit more context, he only turned professional last July after moving up from university football. Now, I get that things work a bit differently in Japan compared to Scotland. And there's always room for hidden gems, but on paper, it's not exactly an inspiring profile statistically speaking. There's not a lot there that jumps off the page either. You'd expect that if you're playing in a struggling side, especially as a defender, you'd at least rack up some eye-catching defensive stats, high tackle counts, loads of clearances, solid aerial duel numbers, that kind of thing. But when you look at Inamura's stats, even in those departments, there's nothing that really makes you sit up and take notice. Thanks to some digging by fan sites, we've seen the numbers and they highlight things like touches and passes in his own half. But when it comes to key defensive metrics like interceptions, tackle success rate, aerial duels won, the figures just aren't there. Now, before anyone gets the wrong idea, I'm not writing the boy off completely. There's clearly something that Celtic's scouting department sees in him. Maybe they're looking at him as a project signing, someone who can develop in the background and provide depth if needed. And let's not forget, we've had success with players from the Japanese market before. Think of Kyogo, Hadit, Maeda, all came in with question marks and ended up becoming fan favorites and top performers. So there's every chance that Inamura could follow a similar path with the right coaching and time to adapt. That said, I think most fans would agree this can't be the marquee center back signing we're all waiting for. Celtic desperately need a top quality addition in the heart of defense. Someone who can come in and partner Cameron Carter-Vickers. Inamura, at this stage of his career, doesn't seem like that guy. More likely, if this deal does go through, he'll come in as cover, maybe as an understudy on the left side of defense or even to provide backup at left back. His height and playing style could lend itself to that sort of role. We'll need to wait and see how this one develops. As the reports said last night, Celtic are working on the move, but there's nothing signed and sealed yet. Given the track record of the journalists who broke the story, though, there's likely something in it worth keeping an eye on over the coming days, especially as other outlets have picked up the story now, and it seems to be gathering a bit of momentum. But again, I'd stress, this doesn't mean it's guaranteed to happen. Transfers can change in an instant. And just a wee reminder for anyone who's feeling a bit uneasy about this potential signing, let's not jump to conclusions just yet. Sometimes players come in under the radar and surprise us all. Remember how people reacted when Kyogo was first linked, or even when Maeda arrived. Not every signing is going to be a blockbuster headline grabber, but that doesn't mean they can't turn into something special. Still, I totally understand why there's a bit of skepticism, especially considering how some previous defensive signings from Japan have worked out, or not worked out in some cases. Now, moving on to another interesting development from the weekend involving Greg Taylor. Just when we thought his move to PAOK was all but done, it seems there's been a twist. Fresh reports suggest that another club has entered the race for his signature, and it's none other than FC Copenhagen. Yes, the Danish Giants are apparently considering a move for Taylor, which could throw a real spanner in the works for PAOK. Naturally, that leaves Greg Taylor with a decision to make. Does he head off to Greece? Or does he fancy a move to Denmark and the chance to play in the Champions League with Copenhagen? It's a bit of a surprise turn of events, especially given that just last week it looked like everything was wrapped up with PAOK. But that's football for you. Until the contract's signed and the players holding up the new shirt, nothing's done and dusted. From a Celtic perspective though, let's be honest, it doesn't really matter where he ends up now. The reality is that Taylor's time at the club is coming to an end, and all that matters is getting the right deal over the line. Whether he ends up in Greece or Denmark or somewhere else entirely, he's moving on, and to be fair, he's earned the right to choose the next step in his career. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. In a move that could shake the very foundations of Scottish football, rumors have emerged suggesting that Amazon, the global e-commerce and tech giant, has made a formal offer to purchase Celtic Football Club. While no official statements have been released by either party, sources close to the matter hint that discussions may already be underway behind closed doors. Whispers of a potential acquisition began circulating earlier this week, with insiders claiming that Amazon sees the iconic Glasgow club as a gateway into European football. The timing of the move raises eyebrows, especially given Celtic's recent dominance in the Scottish Premiership and their growing ambitions on the continental stage. With the Champions League becoming an increasingly global spectacle, Amazon's alleged interest could signal a broader strategy to deepen its ties with international sports broadcasting and ownership. Speculation suggests that Amazon's offer isn't just financial, it reportedly includes substantial investment in club infrastructure, global branding, and digital transformation. The company's streaming platform, Prime Video, has been steadily increasing its sports portfolio, and acquiring a historic club like Celtic might be seen as the next logical step in securing content and global appeal. While some fans are excited by the idea of major investment and modernization, others are voicing concerns about losing the club's identity and traditions. The boys are known for their deeply rooted community values and history, something many fear could be diluted under corporate ownership. Still, the prospect of Celtic gaining a foothold among Europe's elite with Amazon's backing is enough to fuel debate across pubs and forums in Glasgow and beyond. For now, it remains a rumor, but one that refuses to go away. If confirmed, this deal could mark one of the most dramatic power shifts in British football in years. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.